I'm looking south on the E&N Victoria subdivision at a mile 108.2, which right behind me is where it crosses the Highway 19A, looking south towards Qualicum Beach. And this is the north end of a 2-mile stretch where the railway is on the ocean side of the highway, of Highway 19A. And for the E&N Victoria subdivision distance, the railway is usually on the inland side of Highway 19A and Highway 1, with a few exceptions, and this is one of them. This is 2 miles long. I was thinking of walking this. It connects to the Island Highway again, 2 miles south of here. But it looks to be rather boring. It's just 2 long straight stretches, and I'm not sure. The foliage around it looks to be kind of open, but I am going to go north. So here's the north look. I'm going to go north from here, this crossing at 108.2, and I'm going to go to mile 109.2, which is Grove Something Road. And the interesting thing is there are some really nice curves on this. There's forest on both sides. Looks to be lush green forest when I saw the map view from Google Maps. And it's a downhill grade going north. In some places 1.4%, other places 1.2%. The 1.4% grade looks to be one of the steeper parts of the E&N Victoria subdivision. So we'll see what that is like. So I'm going to cross here and continue going north for 1 mile, and if I'm really having a good time, I might go 1 extra mile and go to Dunsmuir. Gotta be careful crossing a highway level crossing. Island Highway, now Highway 19A. I have the sun behind me. This is good for photography and videography. Coming back, not so much. Here's the highway next to me, and I'm going to disappear into the woods. I've got slick ties because of the morning dampness. This is just before 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning. And now today enjoying this time south of Qualicum Bay. Just looking for exactly this, just a cool walk in the forest with a lot of tree cover, and at the end of this straightaway I should have some nice curves with forest on either side. I chose just regular footwear today, just my Skechers shoes. I got a nice tread on them, but they are getting wet as we walk through the Island Corridor hayfield here. I'm out of the hayfield and now just slick ties and rocks. Sign up ahead. If you're a passenger train, 30 miles an hour. If you're a freight train, 25 miles an hour. Likely superseded by 10-mile-an-hour track conditions, slow order, if there were trains. Sign indicates an obstruction ahead. So if I were a train with a snowplow, I would need to lift my blade. Usually the obstruction is the inner rail on a bridge or trestle called the Jordan rail. But in this case, it's going to be probably the wood blocks of a private level crossing. And it is a private crossing because there is a private crossing do not use sign that you see posted on either side. And here's our private crossing. And that's where I came from. I've stopped for one of these lovely trackside scenes. Just looking into the forest, sun peeking through, lighting it up as I keep going northwards towards Grove Hill Road. I like milepost signs. I kind of collect photographs of them. I like it when the sign still exists. Every once in a while there's a spot where the sign's missing, but here's mile 109 along with a whistle sign. Time to do some walking. See what is around the curve. More grass. Time for my shoes and pant legs to get a little bit more wet. What a lovely curve coming on up ahead here with the sunlight crashing in, lighting things up. I am in a filled-in area. I've got some old track charts that show locations, milepost locations of the old trestles back from the original construction. And a place like this, just north of mile 109, oh wow, look at that ravine. A place like this would have been a timber pile trestle probably, and most of them got replaced in the early 1900s with filled-in grade like this. There are so many of them. That's a gorgeous scene. Time to walk. I was doing my last little bit of photography a few moments ago. I slipped on a slick tie and took a tumble, and nothing wrecked, but my shoulder is sore because I took a brunt. A reminder that in the morning, because of the dew, the ties can be really slick. Gotta pay attention to every single step. Just looking down the east side of the ravine and the left side, this is an obvious built up, filled in grade. Coming up to Grove Hill Road, and here's the station mile sign for Dunsmuir, telling me that the Dunsmuir is 1 mile ahead. Here's Grove Hill Road, looking west up the hill and east to the Strait of Georgia. Continuing northbound. What I would normally call a boring straightaway, but it's a field, farmer's field on my left and forest on my right. Lovely sounds of birds. It's the sign that pretty much applies to the entire E&N these days. Mile 110 here, south of Dunsmuir, south of Horn Lake Road. Here's Dunsmuir and Horn Lake Road, and the south switch to the Dunsmuir siding. Dunsmuir holds a place in my heart as the only place during my railway photography in the last 2 years where I've had my car vandalized while I've been out, and that was back in March. Someone or a few people thought it would be a good idea to cover the side of my car with what it turned out to be, I think, just white carpenter's glue. And the glue caused lots of problems because it's sticky, hard to get off. Just in time for pollen season, so all the pollen stuck to the side of my car. I spent a little bit of money on car washes. Eventually worked some vinegar onto my rear view mirror to get the glue off there. It's a bit weird. Before I knew it was glue, wondering what the heck it was, not wanting to taste it. And that happened right across the street in that dirt lot. I don't have a grudge, because I don't know who did it. I just know it wasn't about me. But I do remember it. The interesting thing to me about the frog is that one direction is blocked off. I'll show you what I mean. So if I'm going this way, coming off the siding, going south, it's blocked. It's blocked right here. Should be able to go right through. Normally that would go through, right through there. But it's probably blocked here. Loosen it and pull it over. That would make sense. Coming north on the main line, it's clear for your flange on the inside of the wheel, right through there. Looking north at Horn Lake Road, just before Dunsmuir, and heading back south, continue my walk. As is usually the case, my walk out took me basically 1 hour per mile. So I stop a lot and talk and do photographs, and now it should be quicker going back south. Not as much photography because I'm going into the sun, and I've seen the beauty of the morning, and I just want to get back. Grove Hill Road, I'm heading south, and then soon around the corner will be mile 109. I can see how fast I walked a railway mile. There's the station mile ahead sign indicating Dunsmuir Station, a mile to the north. I was just right near that at the Horn Lake Road intersection. I didn't go right to station sign Dunsmuir, but I went really close to it. This completes another segment for me of the E&N in terms of what I've walked. The full segment on a few different walks gets me from Island Highway at mile 108.2 right up to Cochrane Road north of the big Qualicum River. And so that segment is complete. Bit by bit, I'm just filling in the various gaps on the E&N Victoria subdivision. Look at the blossoms floating in the air. I gotta breathe that in and then sneeze. I'm in a filled-in ravine again. Again, I will research about the trestle that was originally here, and I'll place it up as a subtitle. Oh, that's a nice scene. That's really beautiful. Okay, time to approach milepost 109. and continue my walk. If I'm really ambitious, when I get to Island Highway at mile 108.2, I'll keep walking for a bit and find the mile 108 sign. I always got to have something to collect. In this case, it's photographs of milepost signs. Okay, it was 27 minutes since I left the mile 110 sign, so just under half an hour to go a railway mile. And that's with a few stops for photos, but not a whole lot of stops. Okay, and I thought I was going pretty fast. So I thought I was going to go faster than that, but I guess that tells me that the default for a mile of walking on the railway is about half an hour. Longer if I'm doing lots of photo stops. Let's look behind me. It's that grassy curve. I got more Island Corridor hayfield coming on up ahead, and some curves and some sunlight. A lovely Sunday morning in the woods. Coming near the highway. I'm now heading southbound. I've crossed the highway and I'm in search for milepost 108. Usually when I go looking for a specific milepost as a turnaround, I can't find it. It's missing. This time I hope I find it. And if I don't, I'm not going to walk an extra mile wondering where it was. Here's the whistle sign telling me there's a level crossing coming up. And I'm pretty sure it's for a gravel road. I've seen that gravel road a number of times when I've driven by on Highway 19A. Here we have it, mile 108, my turnaround point. Lovely spot in the woods. Okay, time to turn around, head back north for 0.2 of a mile to the Island Highway. This has been fun. Now, if I had gotten here a couple hours earlier, it would have been cooler, better lighting, but that's okay. It's easier to do that in the fall. And I'm finishing up by just shooting some video of the little level crossing to do some sped up time lapse of traffic crossing.